Welcome to Quick Poker, everybody. I'm Frank Carlino. As promised, we're going to go over the crazy hands from yesterday's session. It all came against one player. I'm not revealing anything about their name or their screen name or anything. That would be rude. We are going to go over the hands where this player has position on me and we just destroyed them. Before we get started on the hand history, let's collect our daily bonus together. 55 cents today. 328-day streak of collecting daily bonuses. That's almost a year. By the way, please subscribe to my channel. You only need 500 subscribers on YouTube to get monetized. It would mean a great deal. Upload every day. It's day 18 of the Bankroll challenge. Today, I've been working for so long. Can't really play a session today, a mentally grueling poker session where I got to stay on top of my game and not let myself tilt and have complicated thought processes. I delivered so much coffee today that I'm going to have to just not play poker today. Costco'sBeans.com. Link in description. This player had position on me the entire time. And I played anyway because I wanted to get to this table because I felt this player was weak. I felt like I could destroy them either way. So I went to the table and I decided I was just going to open huge to 5 big blinds. And no matter what, this player flat called. Pre-flop, every hand, flat call. On the flop. Called no matter what. Limped every hand pre-flop and limp called every hand no matter what. King, queen, I'm going to open. She calls. Jack, 4, deuce. I see bet big because this person's range was weak and looking to get a fold. Not going to happen. Okay. This person was never folding. I don't even know why I tried that with nothing. So I hit the king. This person has been bluffing turns every time I check in these single raise pots. So what am I going to do? I'm going to check my top pair and villain bluff. So I check to villain. Villain pots it. I don't think that's a value hand. That's using the scare card king. I check literally just to set this up. I don't believe that at all. I'm actually going to jam so villain will call off with something like ace 3 of diamonds or something. So I'm just going to jam. So villain snap calls with an ace and an 8. That's tilt. So, boom, up to 20. I'm going to make it 5 big blinds again. Villain calls again. Now, this time it's multi-way. I'm going to check. I don't want to really just start inflating the pot with second pair, weak kicker. So I check. All right. Now, same villain. Bets. Okay. You will probably flat your ace kings because you flat everything, right? But I don't know if you're just sensing weakness. It's a multi-way pot. You are on tilt. I don't really believe you have anything for some reason. I don't know. In game, I just didn't believe that. So we get the fold from the other player, and I check call. Now, what I do here is I go for the check call lead, okay? Because if I lead now, and this villain just calls and doesn't raise, I'm going to believe they're on some sort of draw that was trying to buy the pot, like a Jack 9, Jack 10 type of hand. So I'm going to lead with the intent of just getting called, and then I'm going to check the river. That's my plan. So I go for the unorthodox lead after check calling. Snap call. Feels like a draw. When they snap call, timing tells. I check. She bluffs small. Only 3.2. I snap called and was up against ace 2. So the stab in the flop was a complete bluff. Up to 26 now. Just destroying villain. We get into a multi-way pot here with 10-9. I just start leading. Full pot. Villain calls. Every time I bet full pot. She's just playing every hand. I bet. I'm not afraid of anything. You're going to call me with a 4, with a weaker 9, with a 2, with a straight draw, with a 3 and a 6, with an ace and a 3, with an ace and a 5. Calls again, like every single hand. Just limps in position. Flat calls pre-flop. Calls any bet on the flop. Here, I'm going to check to try to induce a bluff. The problem is if she has if villain has a bluff like ace 5 or something, I'm going to call. It's going to probably check back. But I don't know what I could get value from, so I go for the check. And we see the bluff. Oops, sorry, I spoiled it for you, but I snap called that. And villain turned the pair of 2s that she was sticking around with into a bluff. So I open a 60 because now I just want villain to have to call 60 now instead of 50 pre-flop. Oh, we get a call again. Oh, then we get a 3-bet from a player who's been staying out of trouble, so I'm weary of that. I'm not going to four bet ace queen suited. I'm just going to call. Might even be a bad call if I'm up against ace king. The ace hits. I'd rather just bet out. I don't want to check because call station over here, the theme of the show person is just going to call with every 10 jack, every 7-10, every 6-7, every 5-7, every 6-5, every queen 10, any ace. So I would rather just bet out and see with what the preflop raiser does. I get an idea of whether he had ace king or not by betting out. So I go for the big lead. Wow. In game, I must have been really in the zone because that seems like very aggressive. Another flat call by villain. And then luckily for us, pre-flop raiser gets out. So now the 9 comes. The 9 is the worst card in the deck. Okay, the flush gets there, and if villain was calling with second pair, you got there. And so what do? I go for the jam. I hate this jam by me. I feel like the only merit for this jam is deny equity from straight draws, but don't be surprised if I get snapped off here and she had a 9, man. But villain folds. So terrible play by me. I should have checked and let her bluff. We got a pair of 7s on the button. People are posting, so there's more money in there. Got a poster right here, a poster right there. So if I'm going to make a big open, it's look like I'm trying to steal it, right? And that's going to make our friend here angry. No one hustles Earl Haffle. So she says no one hustles Earl Haffle. She's going to call, see the flop, and we flop the set. Let's go back up here. Flopping a set against person that calls literally every single bet is a great feeling. It's just amazing. So I'm just going to size up. Surprised I didn't bet full pot. She calls, check call. I'm going to bet big. She calls, checks again. I'm going to put her all in. She calls. Are you surprised? So that's this player's tilted. This player, if you ever see this video, I know you can play better than this. You're just tilted. I've played worse than you. Trust me. To 67, basically all from this player. Open a 5 big blinds at king queen. She calls. Flop top pair. Bet pot. How surprising, but she calls. And then this card, this is probably a good time for me to check, but if she has a flush draw, she's not going to fold. So I just jam, and she calls with an ace and a 10. That's tilt. I open the A5 suited against 2 players, actually. I mean, if I run into a higher flush, I'm tough, but, I don't know. I was up a lot. She calls. We got a multi-way pot here. This person, yeah, okay. 4-way pot, and we flop the flush. So because it's multi-way, I wind up not just betting, even though she's going to call, and I check. And then for once, she bets pot. All right, so is she going to bet a pot with a flush? Probably not, so I'm not going anywhere. So if this guy calls that, he might still have me beat with a higher flush, but he probably just has 1 club, right? Most likely. What do we do? We just call. Okay, so if she has a weak jack, she's not going to want to fold trips, but that might be a great card. A great card. She bets. This guy calls, so now it's time for me to jam. Player 2156 has a better flush, so be it. There's too much in there. She calls, of course, and the other player, they're forced into a call with just the ace of clubs. She had a jack, and my hand holds up after. So yeah, destroying the tilted player. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Thank you for watching today's episode of Quick Poker. Check out this video right here if you like high stakes.